A very good afternoon. You're watching the Midday News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and these are the headlines. Kerala Hill Shrine of Sabarimala opens today for women of all ages amid protests at the base camp leading to temple. Massive security cover in area as BJP and Congress lead a separate protest. Shrine opens for devotees in the evening. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu to embark on 3-day visit to Brussels in the afternoon today to lead a delegation at the 12th Asia-Europe Meeting Summit. Connectivity, trade and investment, climate change and terrorism among agenda for the meet. World Economic Forum ranks India as the 58th most competitive economy in the world. Climb of 5 places from 2017 is the largest gain among all G20 economies. Indian Navy completes successful trial of newly inducted deep submergence rescue vehicle, shot in the arm for its submarine rescue capabilities, as a DSRV can rescue 14 personnel from disabled submarine at one time. And Anna Burns wins a Man Booker Prize for her novel Milkman, becomes first author from Northern Ireland to win the most prestigious English language literary award. A top story is from Kerala, where the hill shrine of Sabarimala opens for the general public today for the first time following the Supreme Court ruling, allowing women of all ages to enter. However, the base camp in Nilakkal has become a protest spot. Congress and the BJP are protesting there. Several other outfits are also protesting. Some people have been taken into custody as well. The shrine is slated to open for the pilgrims in the evening, and there is massive security presence at the base camp. The reports say that nearly 1,000 police personnel, including women personnel, have been deployed to ensure protection to the temple devotees. And leading up to the opening of the shrine for its monthly puja, protests under the campaign of Save Sabarimala have been organized for several days now against the entry of females between the ages of 10 to 50 years. The protesters are demanding the state government to file a review petition against the Supreme Court verdict. The state government, on the other hand, has made it clear that anyone stopping the entry of women into the shrine will be dealt with strictly. They have also assured that in keeping with the Supreme Court verdict, all facilities will be provided to female devotees. The hill shrine dedicated to Lord Ayyappan will close on 22nd of October.
ഇത് അടിച്ചമർത്തുവാനാണ് ശ്രമമെങ്കിൽ അടിച്ചമർത്തട്ടെ. ഇതൊരു സമൂഹമാണ്, ഒരു രാഷ്ട്രീയ പാർട്ടിയല്ല. ഇത് വിശ്വാസികളാണ്. ആ വിശ്വാസികളുടെ വിശ്വാസം സംരക്ഷിക്കാൻ, ശബരിമലയുടെ ആചാര അനുഷ്ഠാനങ്ങൾ സംരക്ഷിക്കാൻ ഞാൻ ഒരു ഭക്തൻ എന്ന നിലയിൽ ശബരിമലയിലേക്ക് തന്നെ പോകുന്നു. ഇത് ഡു ഓർ ഡൈ എന്ന നിലയിൽ.
It is very disturbed atmosphere is going at here. Every year in a devotional atmosphere we will come to here to darshan Ayyappa, but this year due to this kind of wrong things we are not feeling very well. Kerala government has to take the necessary action about the Vishwas what is going on pilgrims, that has to keep safe by the government of Kerala.
And news from Jammu and Kashmir, where 3 militants and a policeman were killed during an encounter between ultras and security forces in Srinagar today. The authorities closed down schools and snapped internet services. Following the encounter, security forces launched a cordon and search operation in Fateh Kardal in the downtown area of the city, following an intelligence input about the presence of militants there. A policeman was also killed during the operation. The operation turned into an encounter after the militants opened fire on the security forces.
स्पेसिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन के ऊपर हमारी पार्टी, पुलिस की और सीआरपी की इसने जो ऑपरेशन किया है, इसमें इतला थी कि किसी एक खास जगह पे कुछ मिलिटेंट जो हैं वो उन्होंने पनाह ले रखी है। उस पे पार्टी गई और जगह का कॉर्डन किया गया, घर का कॉर्डन किया गया, और कॉर्डन करते जो ही घर के करीब पहुंचे तो उसी वक्त जो है पार्टी के ऊपर फायरिंग आई। उस फायरिंग के दौरान हमारे एक बहादुर जवान कमल किशोर उसमें शहादत पा गए और जब ऑपरेशन ख़त्म हुआ सुबह, उसके बाद जब इलाके की तलाशी ली, उसमें 3 डेड बॉडीज़ वहाँ से मिली।
And on to the top story, the Indian Navy's submarine rescue capabilities have got a boost with the successful maiden trial of its newly inducted deep submergence rescue vehicle. The Western Naval Command conducted the trial of the DSRV, which also set a record for the deepest submergence by a manned vessel in the Indian waters. The DSRV, operated by a crew of 3, can rescue 14 personnel from a disabled submarine at one time. And once the trials are completed, it will put the Indian Navy, into a small league of world navies that have an integral submarine rescue capability. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu will leave for Brussels in Belgium today to attend the 12th Asia-Europe meeting or the ASEM summit. He will lead the Indian delegation at the summit scheduled to be held on 18th and 19th of October in Brussels. The biannual event is considered the biggest platform for dialogue and cooperation between Asia and Europe in the areas of trade, investment, security and tourism. The theme of this year's ASEM summit is Global Partners for Global Challenges. Apart from the opening ceremony, Vice President Naidu will participate in the plenary session and have interactions with the various stakeholders. In addition, he will also call on the King of Belgium. Later, he will also have bilateral meetings with the heads of state and government from Austria, Portugal, Switzerland and other countries on the sidelines of the summit. And on 20th of October, he will address the Indian diaspora at the Jain Culture Centre in Antwerp. On to the other top story of the day. India has been ranked as the 58th most competitive economy on the World Economic Forum's Global Competitiveness Index for 2018. Now, India's rank rose by 5 places from 2017, the largest gain among G20 economies. Now, according to the report, the top performance in the upper and lower middle income brackets, India is catching up or even outperforming the average among high-income economies. According to the report, India leads the region in all other areas of competitiveness except for health, education and skills. The report even added that India's greatest competitive advantages include its market size and innovation. On the list of 140 economies, the US topped the list, followed by Singapore and Germany. India was ranked 58th with a score of 62.0 in the latest Global Competitiveness report. On to some other news now. The CEO of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana has said that the Prime Minister's ambitious healthcare scheme Ayushman Bharat will create 10 lakh jobs in the health and insurance sector. Indu Bhushan said that the scheme will improve the quality of healthcare in public services and also in the private sector. Addressing an event organized by the industry body ASSOCHAM, he said that India still has a very high level of expenditure on health compared to other emerging economies. He added that 6 crore people go into poverty because of out-of-pocket expenditure on their health. The Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, which is dubbed as the Modi Care, provides a 5 lakh rupees annual insurance cover to more than 10.7 crore poor families and will be funded with 60% contribution coming from the central government and the remaining from the states. And the Law Ministry has endorsed a proposal of the Women and Child Development Ministry to remove the time limit for reporting child sexual abuse. Minister Maneka Gandhi had on 3rd of October written to Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad asking him to remove the time limit for reporting child sexual abuse and allow people to complain even 10 to 15 years later. Senior officials said that the further course of action will be decided soon. Under Section 468 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, any offence, including child abuse, which can lead to a prison term of 3 years, has to be reported within 3 years of the incident. And according to Section 473 of the CRPC, a court may take cognizance of an older case if it is in the interest of justice or if the delay has been properly explained. In a giant leap towards the digitization of criminal investigation, the police in 6 major cities, including Delhi and Mumbai, will mandatorily conduct a videography of a crime scene. The centre told this to the Supreme Court on Tuesday. The other cities where videography of crime scenes would be mandatory are Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Bangalore and Chandigarh. In April, the top court had asked the centre to prepare a plan for introducing a videography in criminal investigations to strengthen the rule of law. The affidavit filed by the centre said that a plan for crime scene videography would be implemented in phases. The centre has sought another 6 months from the court for full-fledged implementation of this plan. In midday news, we'll take a very short break here. We'll be back with more news. Let's get to some election-related news. BJP President Amit Shah kicks off the party's campaign for the November 28th Assembly elections in Mizoram. He will address a statewide booth-level workers' meet in Aizawl. Shah will also induct Dr. Buddhadan Chakma, a ruling Congress legislator who resigned from the State Assembly on Tuesday. Dhan Chakma will be inducted in the meeting to be held today in the presence of BJP election in charge of Mizoram, Himanta Biswas and other leaders. He will also inaugurate the BJP office in Aizawl. Mizoram is slated to go to vote on 28th of November. It is the only state in the entire northeast where Congress is in power at present. News from the national capital. The National Green Tribunal has imposed a 50 crore rupees fine on the Delhi government for not taking action against the polluting steel pickling units in residential areas of the national capital. The tribunal also directed the government to shut these units with immediate effect. A bench headed by NGT chairperson rapped the government for not closing the industrial units despite its specific directions. The order came on a plea filed by an NGO seeking the execution of the NGT's previous order. The Green Panel had directed the Delhi Pollution Control Committee to take action against stainless steel pickling units in residential areas as they fall under the prohibited list of industrial activity. And Deputy Chairperson of Rajya Sabha Harivansh has underscored the need to address the challenges posed by climate change through global cooperation. Speaking at the 139th Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union in Geneva, Harivansh said that India is committed to fight against these challenges by forming a common and united action. He said that climate change is one of the biggest challenges faced by developing countries. He also highlighted India's efforts in mitigating the effects of climate change, citing the International Solar Alliance formed with France.
We are of the opinion that the promotion of global well-being requires institutionalizing the concept of one world through partnerships based on solidarity, equity and sharing. India believes that the benefits of international fair and free trade and investment must be shared widely enough and that there is a need to better enable to people to seize the opportunities and benefits of economic globalization. In this direction, the WTO plays an important role by bringing stability and predictability to the multilateral trading system.
News from Rajasthan now. The Union Health Ministry has directed the National Centre for Disease Control to monitor Zika cases on a daily basis. The directive has been given after a number of people infected with the virus rose to 80 in Rajasthan. The ministry has also urged people not to panic. The ministry said that it was working along with the state governments, the local authorities as well as municipal corporations for strengthening their efforts in vector control, surveillance and awareness activities. Health Minister JP Nadda chaired a high-level meeting to review the activities for the prevention and the control of the Zika virus and seasonal influenza on Tuesday. He stressed on the need to undertake exhaustive control measures, including fogging, while also strengthening surveillance to facilitate early identification of cases. Meanwhile, the Rajasthan Health Minister said that the awareness drives have been initiated in schools as well to sensitize the students about the disease. With the majority of the cases being reported from Srinagar in Jaipur, the State Health Department has issued an advisory for the pregnant women not to visit the area. The Central Vigilance Commission, or the CVC, has completed a first-of-its-kind analysis of the top 100 banking frauds, including those in the jewellery and aviation sectors, and shared its findings with the RBI, ED, CBI and the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. The analysis was focused on habits of working, amount involved, type of lending, anomalies observed, loopholes that facilitated the penetration of the fraud concern, and the systemic improvements required to plug the gaps in the system and procedures. The frauds were classified and analysed for 13 sectors, including gem and jewellery, manufacturing and industry, agro, media, aviation and letter of comfort, etc. The measures suggested and the analysis include the strengthening of standard operating procedures, or the SOPs, and the monitoring system, and also highlighting the role of controlling officers to examine the aspect of the quality of business. And time for another short break here. Up next, we have all the international and sports news. Welcome back. Let's get you all the international news now. US President Donald Trump has warned that anyone entering the United States illegally would be arrested and then deported back. Now, the warning came as Donald Trump threatened three Central American nations to halt a migrant caravan from heading to America or lose millions of dollars in foreign aid. Donald Trump's warning comes amidst reports that a new caravan from Honduras, comprising about 1,600 people, is moving towards the U.S. via Guatemala. The caravan, formed in the Honduran city of San Pedro, crossed into Guatemala on Monday. Now, Guatemala detained one of its coordinators on Tuesday, but other members of the caravan are still advancing through Guatemala with the hopes of reaching the U.S. border. He said that his administration has informed the three countries, namely Honduras, Guatemala and El Salvador, that America will stop all payments to them if they allow their citizens to enter the United States. And intensifying pressure on Iran, the US has imposed sanctions on a multi-billion-dollar financial network that supports an Iranian paramilitary force. Announcing sanctions, the US Department of Treasury alleged that the paramilitary force, subordinated to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, indulges in militia recruits and deploys child soldiers to fight in conflicts across the region. The announcement comes 2 weeks before the Donald Trump administration reimposes some of the US's harshest sanctions against Iran, including its oil sector. And US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is in Ankara for talks with the Turkish leadership over the disappearance of Saudi journalist Kamal Khashoggi at the kingdom's consulate in Istanbul. He is due to meet President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Now, Khashoggi, a Washington Post contributor, is feared killed at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. He has not been seen since entering the kingdom's mission 2 weeks ago. Now, Pompeo, who is currently in Saudi Arabia, will travel to Ankara today. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump on Tuesday said that Saudi Arabia has started a full investigation into the disappearance of the journalist. And soon after talking with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman over phone, Donald Trump in a tweet said that the answers related to Khashoggi's disappearance would be forthcoming shortly. The UN Human Rights Chief has called for the lifting of immunity of officials who might be involved in Khashoggi's disappearance. Turkish police earlier on Monday searched the Saudi consulate in Istanbul for the first time since the disappearance. The Turkish officials have said that they believe that he was killed. Saudi Arabia has denied that claim. And author Anna Burns has won the Man Booker Prize for her novel Milkman to become the first author from Northern Ireland to win the most prestigious English language literary award. With the win, Anna became the 17th woman to bag the award in its 49-year history and first woman since 2013. Her novel Milkman is a coming-of-age story of a young woman's affair with a married man set in the political troubles of Northern Ireland. The awards committee said that Burns shows the dangerous and complex impact of a woman coming of age in a city at war. Burns saw competition from 2 British writers, 2 American writers and 1 Canadian writer. All the sporting action now. Indian shuttler Saina Nehwal has advanced to the second round of the Denmark Open Badminton tournament on Tuesday. Saina Nehwal defeated Hong Kong's Cheong Nagan 20-22, 21-17, 24-22 in the first match. However, third seed PV Sindhu and the mixed doubles pair of Ashwini Ponnappa and S. Saranki Reddy bowed out of the tournament after losing their first round matches. In the men's singles event, Shrikant defeated Denmark's Hans Kirsten Vittinghus in 35 minutes with a scoreline of 21-16, 21-10 to cruise to the next round, while Samir Verma also entered the second round, overcoming China's Shi Yuki 21-17, 21-18 in 44 minutes match. And in more sports news, triple jumper Praveen Chitraval has bagged a bronze medal at the 2018 Youth Olympics in the Argentinian city of Buenos Aires. Praveen cleared a distance of 15.68 meters to finish 5th in the Stage 2 competition last night. But his good showing in Stage 1, where he was 3rd with a jump of 15.84 meters, took him to the podium. He ended at the 3rd spot with a combined effort of 31.52 meters. Cuba took home the gold while Nigeria won the silver. Now, this was India's second medal in athletics at the Games after Suraj Panwar clinched a silver medal in the men's 5,000 meters race walk event on Monday. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.